reality.
It's so good.
Yeah,
I see.
they run it out of clowns.
Okay.
I don't know what to do with.
Yeah. How much of that will you feed? How much?
Of our feeding, we probably end up with an extra 60,000 bushel more than than our feeding.
What moisture are you taking it on?
Oh, and it's 19, but which is, you know, that's,
Yes,
I'm okay with
for
that.
East Central Minnesota.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Randy had some. All through long, he was combine, he had every once in a while he did. He said, I don't know why it's clean, but I get some of those ones. 17-1, 17-2.
Yeah.
And then you'd get a different part of the field and the same variety, planted the same day, and it'd be 20,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, I don't know. My yields have been spectacular. I mean, it's like, well, probably my poorest.
Really.
My gas has been.
Somebody would have told you that 15 years ago, you wouldn't
kidding.
believe them, would you?
No kidding.
It's like, I was watching that egg show in the morning, I watch it every once in a while. The guy in Central Iowa, he goes, I know it sounds stupid, but I'm complaining because we're only getting 220 people.
I know.
He said this ground. On it.
First thing that came up was YouTube.
You know,
I had it in my truck yesterday.
Yeah.
For that phone call. Well, then he grabbed it, my 7-year-old. He's got YouTube on.
Oh, okay.
Whatever, right over. And he's not doing it.
All right, I'll stay over.
Yeah.
Yeah. How many days did it take?
What that?
thinking 3 years. Well, hopefully we're done with the far
Do they-
stuff by
do they-
Saturday.
Otherwise it gets way too loud.
Yeah. Yeah, for some.
The nice way to do it.
It is. That is, heatings are so healthy. And speaking of manure.
Yeah. There's nothing to
No.
compare to that.
No. Well, we don't do excessive, we spread it around, but
Yeah.
it's just that little bit extra, you
Yeah.
know. Makes a big difference. Sign up sheet, let's be getting there.
Nope, you can just have a seat and then you'll come up one by one. Right out there.
All right, we do have 10 o'clock. We'll call the meeting to order. One quick thing I wanted to get out of the way is the requests to do online participation are ending at 10. It's just too hard to get everything going and still for Ryan to run the meeting. So them are going to be closed now and we will move on with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, I do appreciate everybody showing up today. And we will get going here with the public forum. I'll just read over what we got here today. Public forum members of the public are invited to speak. After being recognized by the chair, speakers should approach the podium and speak into the microphone. Speakers should state their names and limit comments to 3 minutes. Speakers may not share minutes with other speakers. one little thing I did add is let's just keep it respectable and no personal attacks. So, we do not have to allow public comment. This county board has discussed that. We do appreciate public comment. We do like the public to be present. So, the 3-minute timer will be going. I'll just ask you to limit when we're done at the 3 minutes. So if everybody could be respectful, I'd appreciate it. So we'll start in person and then we'll go to online. So, yep, Denise, you can come up.
Denise Weiss, Royalton Township. Normally I'm always here to talk about cannabis, and this time I'm here to talk about Mr. Wellham. I heard first that he was being investigated by WCMP Facebook page. The story did not explain what the accusations were, just a lot of sensationalism. My questions are, who leaked this to WCMP? And why was it done? Was this a smear campaign because JJ has always supported us with the cannabis industry, that it should be in industrial zoned areas away from residents? Because he always has supported us for that. When there are union negotiations, there are closed door meetings. So this is not aired out first and foremost within the public. There was no facts to this investigation as to why this was being investigated on the social media. I do believe that every person deserves that first when they're being accused of something. Mr. Wellham, I have seen him recuse himself from a vote and explain why he's recusing himself for potential conflict of interest. I have not seen other commissioners recuse themselves when they should have recused themselves, especially when they had things to do with Martin's greenhouses within the sales and services of what they used to do. Quorums, I have not seen JJ involved with quorums. We know that that has been an issue with a few of the people. So to say that this is not a smear campaign, I question it. JJ's paid his taxes. He questions areas within the commissions as far as why is this done? Is this a financial benefit to the county? He has always been supportive within his constituents and also within others in the area. You know, question, if you have a question about something, you know, he gets back to you. He talks to you. He fights for you. He supports you. And as a resident of this community, that is vitally important than not have somebody just cave in to big money. I respectfully think that how this was approached was incorrect. Thank you.
Thank you. Who's next? Just state your name and where you live.
Sure. My name's Nate Houston. I identify as a little old lady. What's happening in this county isn't leadership.
Where's your residence?
General Andrews Drive.
Okay.
What's happening in this county isn't leadership. It's corruption and cowardice disguised as governance. The ongoing attacks against Commissioner J.J. Waldham are nothing more than a political witch hunt orchestrated by the county administrator, the county attorney, and complacent commissioners who sit silently by while one of their own is targeted for doing his job, serving the people. Commissioner Waldham has done what others in his position have lacked the courage to do: stand up for taxpayers, challenge waste, and fight for transparency. He's worked to release county-owned lands back into the hands of tax-paying citizens and local businesses, putting those assets to work for the community instead of letting them collect dust under bureaucratic control. He's exposed waste, questioned backroom deals, and demanded accountability, not for personal gain, but because that's what the people elected him expect. Now, because he refuses to play along with insider politics, the county's top leadership is attempting to smear, isolate, and destroy him. They spread rumors, manipulate information, and hide behind legal jargon, all to protect their own power. This is not about ethics. It's about silencing a man who can't be bought, bullied, or bribed. Let's talk about the timing of the county administrator's decision to leave. The county administrator's sudden decision to take a massive $50,000 pay cut from $180,000 a year, I'm rounding numbers, to $130,000, all while seeking another job, is not a gesture of humility. It's a red flag. It's a desperate move to get ahead of public scrutiny and to rewrite the narrative before the truth fully comes to light. No honest public servant walks away from that kind of salary unless there's something deeper at play. The citizens deserve to know what's happening behind closed doors. And there are commissioners who stand by in silence, watching this charade unfold while doing absolutely nothing. Their cowardice has allowed corruption to take root in the very institution meant to serve the public. They betrayed their oath and the people who trusted them to act with integrity. Even more disturbing is the conduct of the county's legal team, a group that seems to believe they can weaponize their positions without consequence. Let this be clear. Qualified immunity does not shield malicious acts or bad faith behavior. When attorneys abuse their power to carry out political vendettas, manipulate legal processes, or retaliate against elected officials, they step outside the bounds of protection and into personal liability. No title or badge excuses corruption, and no immunity covers intentional misconduct. This isn't just an attack on Commissioner Waldom. It's an attack on accountability, transparency, and the democratic process itself. The people are not blind and they are not fooled. They see who's working for them and who's working against them. Commissioner J.J. Waldheim has stood tall when others have hidden, spoken the truth, and stayed quiet. He's defended taxpayers when others have defended their paychecks. He has done what people have elected him to do, fight for them. It's time that this county stop pushing. Okay, thank you.
Who's next?
Patrice DeGray, Rutland Township. Denise has papers stand to each of you. They are complaints to the Zoning and Planning Commission. You already had, Josh has his from me, but not from my husband. So this has to do with cannabis, and it is something we have complained about and stated facts for a year and a half, more than a year and a half. Actually, JJ is the only one who's listened, gotten back to us, and the only one, you weren't elected at the time, that came to a meeting when everyone was invited. Which was fine. That would have been quorum, but 2 would have been good. The lights are now on, and you'll see pictures of those. The placement is less than 350 feet, which you should have stuck to that. Less than 350. My dad's house is about 275. His shed is 250. You'll see pictures of that. The lights are horrendous, and they are meant for cannabis greenhouses or maybe some other new greenhouses. He does run them. The lighter ones for 2 hours, 8:30 to 10:30. The rest of them run all night, all year round. That is ridiculous. You'll see pictures from our bedroom window at 2:48 in the morning and 7:11 in the morning. My husband said, if I had the curtains open, I would have thought I overslept. And there are blackout curtains, no matter what he says. They're there, you can order them. He should have them ordered already. But you should give him a 2-week limit to get those blackout curtains on. And they aren't too expensive when you can pull in 3 ways the electric into the neighborhood and around $100,000. I don't think the curtains are that much to protect us,
That's fine.
animals,
Thank you.
and everybody.
Yeah, you can just give it to Deb and she'll get it to us. Yep, thank you. Anybody else here? You can go.
I'm Barb Dreyer from Royalton Township. I live a half mile south of the cannabis operation. I've lived there for 36 years. I moved here because I was looking for peace, quiet, a dark sky. And I had that until last week when all the lights got turned on. So being a neighbor, I went and saw Mr. Zappa the next day and explained, what I saw the night before. I could read a book in my yard, a half mile south. The Milky Way overhead is completely obliterated. The northern sky, mind you, I'm half mile south of him. I cannot see the northern lights anymore. I got an alert on my phone at 2:48 one morning to go out and see the northern lights. This is something I enjoy, something I do, it's a passion of mine. Imagine my disgust and my frustration and my anger at 2:48 in the morning when all I could see were glowing greenhouse lights. When I talked with Mr. Zappa, it was my understanding that he would shut them off at 8:30 at night and they would be off all night. What I didn't foolishly know was I have to be careful of what he does not tell me. And in reality, what he said, as he said later, that I did not understand that to be at all what he said, was that he would shut the lights off at 8:30 in the winter and 10:30 in the summer. I naively thought that those lights would be off all night. And then I texted him the next day and he goes, no, I just meant they'd be off between 8 and 10:30. Hello. And then there's been discussion about, well, how come no one complained when Martin's greenhouse lights were lit? I lived there too. I could count the number of times on one hand where I noticed Martin's greenhouse lights. And it was a dull, soft glow. And it was only in January when there was cloud cover, a snowstorm was coming, and the white snow was reflecting. Never anything like this. So I asked Mr. Zappa about his lights. Oh yeah, I'm using Tom and Laura's lights. Okay, he is. But he's also installed a whole lot more lights. So if I could give you a visual, think of Tom and Laura's lights as the brightness of a candle. Think of Mr. Zappa's lights as a bonfire, and I am not exaggerating in the least. So I did some reading on the OCM website yesterday. OCM requires that interior and exterior lighting be managed to prevent light pollution or disturbance to neighbors. Well, he's hit the disturbance to neighbors level big time. Interior lighting of greenhouses, this is from OCM.
All right, we do have 3 minutes.
Okay, must be confined to the interior, preventing light and glare from being visible. I just want to see this stuff enforced.
Thank
Thank you.
Good morning, Trent Harris, Pine County resident. I'm just kind of winging it because I haven't had time to prepare a speech or anything. What brings me here today is the article that was published online regarding Commissioner Waldholm. I appreciate you guys allowing us to speak up here since it's not a requirement. After reviewing the investigation report, I came to the conclusion that Commissioner Waldholm was performing his job duties that he is required to do as commissioner. The investigation states that he is using abuse of power to influence outcomes. Being in the utility industry and owning a company that deals with transmission pipeline, it brings a question that I have regarding holding people accountable. When it clearly states that the law, you are not supposed to put signage on utility poles. Now, I read the report from Attorney County Frederickson, I believe is his name, that says he has not seen it in 17 years and has not prosecuted for it. Now, I'm not saying that prosecution is necessary. However, just because a law hasn't been prosecuted does not mean that it is right. I do feel that this report needs to be redacted and a new investigation needs to be done as Commissioner Waldholm was acting within his job duties and addressing concerns of his peers. Thank you.
Thank you, Trent. Anybody else in the public? Okay.
My name is Jeremiah Moore. I'm a Pine County resident, District 2. The reason I'm here today is reading this forum. It states that Commissioner Waldham has, abused his power and stuff like that. And, I served my country for 12 years, never been arrested, worked for the Pine County Sheriff's Office for 2.5 years. My criminal record is clean. So myself and the chair commissioner here have our differences. And when it came to handling those differences, we talk about special treatment and stuff. And when we were getting paper services, exchanged back and forth, he got called into the sheriff's office and served privately. I had 3 deputies show up at my house because they were told that I was going to be violent. I have no violent accusations, never been arrested. Nothing, just some traffic violations. 3 deputies show up at my house twice and served me in front of my children. So I had to sit there and explain to them that. Second thing I'm going to read here is we had an agreement, signed agreement drafted by attorneys stating that we were supposed to leave each other alone, right? Supposed to leave each other alone. Here, the chair commissioner has inserted himself into a state battle that has absolutely nothing to do with him, and stating in here, I'm an elected official and work as a Pine County Commissioner for District 2. I am also the sole owner of a successful multi-generation family business, which has been owned and operated by someone with the Moore family for 3 generations. I know Jeremiah works as a furnace and duct cleaner. I mean, I could read this whole thing. It basically states that because I'm a furnace and duct cleaner, I can't afford to build a pole shed on my property. So I'm taking advantage of an elderly man for money to build a pole shed when I have a loan through Stearns Bank to build this pole shed. So I don't know how, and this is being handled through Pine County, how a commissioner, the chair commissioner, can insert himself into a case that involves him to no extent. He doesn't have any relation, didn't know this family beforehand, and he was a friend of mine. And it's still holding up. He's still allowed to testify on this behalf. So, I mean, these are all legal documents, county, state of Minnesota, county of Pine. I have the paper services that have the deputies' names and stuff on there. Brought it up to the county attorney, brought it up to the sheriff.
All right, there's your 3 minutes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anybody else in the public? Nobody else here? Okay, we do have some online comments. We will start, I'm just going right down the list here. We have a Dan Stark. Dan, are you there? Okay, we will move on to.
I'm sorry, I'm here. Do you hear me? Hello?
Julie, are you there?
It looks like Dan is available.
I'm sorry, I'm not the greatest at this, but I think I got it right. Hey, my name is Dan Stark. I am a seasonal owner cabin up in Twilight, and we also own 600 acres out in just west of Willow River.
Unmuted.
But I have known JJ since the 90s. And one thing, I read through the whole complaint. I'm a retired postmaster, and I was reading through it, and I get it, but it almost looks like it's a witch hunt for this guy. And every time I approached him for any questions,
Is this Dan?
it is.
Okay, sorry, Dan, we weren't getting you through, so we're gonna just start you over, okay? I know
One,
you're talking, but I apologize. We were just having some technical difficulties, so.
oh, no worries at all. My name is Dan Stark. I have a
And
seat,
where are you from, Dan?
Twilight Lane.
Okay,
Anyways, I've known JJ and the family for years, and we own multiple properties out in Willow River and whatnot. And every time I approached him about any questions, he had nothing but good things to say about Pine County and who to reach out to and whatnot. And I read through the whole complaint. I'm a retired postmaster, and I read through the complaint, and I'll be honest with you, I'm like, as I read through it, I go, this is almost like a witch hunt. And I see something totally different in JJ than obviously you all do. But I just wanted to speak on his behalf because he's always promoted Pine County, and and like the other people have said, I want somebody that sticks up for me. And I don't know what's going on with the county necessarily, but I do want to put my 2 cents worth in saying I am so proud and glad to have JJ on my side. And I'll just leave it at that. And it really showed a lot about what Pine County's doing when you read about all of this nitpicky, he said, she said stuff, and trying to hang somebody out on that. You know, I get it. You guys got to do your job, but I just hope, he's been there for me, and I'll just leave it at that. Thank you.
all right. Thanks, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Julie, did we get you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, go ahead. Just state your name and where you're from.
Okay, my name is Julie Waldham. I'm from the Sturgeon Lake and Ascove areas. I am JJ Waldham's niece, and I'm speaking today as a concerned constituent of Pine County. Dear friends and neighbors, I want to share from the heart why I support JJ Waldham as our Pine County Commissioner. JJ isn't just a leader in our county. He's a family man, a friend, and someone who truly cares about the people who call Pine County home. JJ has always led with integrity, honesty, and hard work, and we all know it. He's the kind of person that doesn't shy away from tough situations, but he meets them head on with determination and compassion. Whether it's helping a neighbor, standing up for what's right, or lending a hand when someone's in need, JJ is the one that will be there. That's just who he is, steady, dependable, and genuine. What's been disheartening is seeing how much time and effort some people in this county spend trying to tear him down instead of working together to lift our community up. JJ deserves better, and so do us, all of us, the people of Pine County. Instead of focusing on division and criticism, we should be recognizing the good work that he has done and the dedication he continues to show every single day. He's not in this for attention, for power, or just to make friends. He's in it because he truly loves the county and he wants to see it thrive for generations to come. JJ understands the value of family, community, and doing what's right, even when it's not the easy thing to do. That's the kind of leadership Pine County needs: honest, heartfelt, and focused on people over politics. I'm proud to stand with my uncle, JJ Waldham, and support him as our Pine County Commissioner. What I don't support is a smear campaign, and that's exactly what's going on. I hope others will see in him what so many of us already do: a man of character, compassion, and commitment to the place we call home. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Julie. Thank you. Okay, we have a Brett Mlaskach. Brett, are you there?
Or see anybody else online.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. All right, so I think we're done with public comment. And we'll move on to the agenda. Is there any additions or revisions to the agenda?
Commissioner Moore, members of the board, there was just 2 additional information items that were sent out. The first was for item 1 on the regular agenda, just a copy of the investigation. And then the second, and it was a copy of the draft low potency hemp edible ordinance.
All right. Well, if,
How'd we go move is?
I'll second it.
okay, we had motion by Ludwig, second by Waldham. Is that what it was?
Yep.
Okay. All right, is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Opposed, same thing. Approve the minutes of the October 21st, 2025 regular board meeting and summary for publication.
I'll move approval.
Good. Motion by Holland. Second. Second by Nelson. Is that what it was?
Yep.
Okay, any other discussion on that? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing. All right, acknowledge the minutes of boards, committees, and correspondence, Pine County Surveyors Report, October 2025. Pine County Housing and Redevelopment Economic Authority minutes, October 22nd, 2025.
So move, Mr. Chair. Ludwig.
All right, got a motion by Ludwig,
I'll second.
second by Waldham. Any discussion on them? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing. Consent agenda.
I'll move the consent agenda.
Okay. We got a second on consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion by Holland, second by Ludwig. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing. All right, we'll move on to the regular agenda and the future investigations. Consider the facts and discuss potential outcomes of the investigation. So I'm gonna turn it over to Margaret and her team there and, yeah, we'll go from there.
Thank you, Commissioners. My name is Margaret Skelton, for those of you who don't know me. I have been Pine County's labor attorney for over 20 years, representing the county in grievance arbitrations, interest arbitrations, and in general employment matters. We are here today because complaints came forward against Commissioner Waldham. Former Pine County Administrator David Menke contacted our firm to conduct an investigation of these complaints. Attorney Lauren Kingsbeck, who is here with me today, was the investigator, and she did draft the report that you received in your materials, and that has been redacted. We are going to start with a summary of the investigation and its findings. And after Ms. Kingsbeck completes her summary, then I'll provide recommendations to the county board. I'd ask that you allow Ms. Kingsbeck to completely complete her presentation before there's any questions that are asked. And so I'm going to turn this over to Ms. Kingsbeck. Thank you.
So as Margaret said, my name is Lauren Kingsbeck. I'm an attorney with Rabick, Rozek, and Maloney. And in July 2025, then County Administrator David Menke contacted our law firm, and I was assigned to conduct an investigation into the claims brought by 2 county staff members regarding Commissioner J.J. Waldham's conduct. In particular, the claims alleged that Commissioner Waldham attempted to improperly exert his authority over county staff in regard to a resident's property tax status, and then also in regard to signage posted on utility poles by a staff member's family member. As part of the investigation, I interviewed 7 individuals. I also reviewed documentation provided by county staff that was relevant to the allegations. As part of the investigation, I also contacted Commissioner Waldham several times regarding the investigation and inquiring if he wanted to participate in an investigative interview. The first of these was on August 18th, 2025. I sent an email to Commissioner Waldham's official county email address, informing him that I would be conducting an investigation into complaints of misconduct made against him and inquiring whether he wanted to participate in an investigative interview. I did not receive a response to that email, so then on August 25th, 2025, I sent a letter to Commissioner Waldham's address via US mail, again informing him of the investigation and inquiring if he wanted to participate. The letter also stated that if I did not receive a response from him by Friday, September 5th, 2025, I would presume that he was declining to participate in the investigation. That same day, August 25th, 2025, I also sent an email to Commissioner Waldham's official county email address with both a copy of the letter and also notifying him of the investigation and again inquiring whether he wanted to participate and informing him that if I did not receive a response from him by Friday, September 5th, 2025, I would presume he was declining to participate. I never received any response from Commissioner Waldham. I also confirmed with IT that the emails that were sent were received and they were read. I also never received the letter returned undeliverable. Again, like I said, I never received any response from Commissioner Waldham. Therefore, I completed my investigation report on October 1st, 2025 regarding my findings without any input from Commissioner Waldham. The report substantiated that Commissioner Waldham attempted to use his position as an elected official to pressure a county assessor's office staff member to change the property tax classification of a parcel owned by a third party. The basis for this finding includes the following facts. On or about June 25th, 2025, Commissioner Waldham called a staff member in the county assessor's office regarding the property tax classification of a parcel owned by one of his constituents. Specifically, he was requesting that this property be classified as agricultural use. At the time that Commissioner Waldham called, the staff member had already actually spoken to the property owner of the parcel, who was inquiring about the same thing, and informed him that the county would review the parcel for errors in the tax classification. And if there were no errors, then the property owner would have to submit a new agricultural use application, and that if that was approved, the tax benefit would not be applicable until taxes payable in 2027. During this phone call, Commissioner Waldham questioned why the property owner would have to wait until 2027 to see the tax benefit of the agricultural use classification, and he repeatedly asked the staff member to do the right thing. The staff member understood that comment to mean that Commissioner Waldham wanted the staff member to change the property tax classification to agricultural use and apply the tax benefit immediately. Also, during this phone call, Commissioner Waldham told the staff member that he was a county commissioner. He questioned how long the staff member had been employed by the county, and when the staff member told him, Commissioner Waldham responded with a comment that the staff member was still in their probationary period, and he also made a comment noting that he must have voted for the staff member to be hired. Commissioner Waldham's comment regarding the staff member's probationary status was perceived as a threat to that staff member's employment with the county, both by that staff member and other witnesses interviewed as part of the investigation. During this phone call, Commissioner Waldham continued to pressure the staff member to change the tax classification of the parcel, despite being informed by the staff member that this would be inconsistent with state property tax guidelines and that there was no approved agricultural use application on file for this parcel. During this phone call, the staff member felt that Commissioner Waldham was asking them to violate the tax code because Commissioner Waldham continued to insinuate that the staff member should change the property tax classification, even after the staff member told him it was against state guidelines. The report also substantiated an allegation that Commissioner Waldham used his status as an elected official to seek criminal charges against a former coworker and the coworker's family member who is a county employee. The basis for this finding includes the following facts. Commissioner Waldham identified himself as an elected official when making complaints to other entities regarding signage posted on utility poles by a county employee's family member. These signs were advertising that family member's business. The family member was also a previous coworker of Commissioner Waldham's. The commissioner specifically mentioned the county employee's recent employment with the county when making a complaint about the signage to the county sheriff. The county employee perceived this as Commissioner Waldham potentially trying to get the employee fired. The county employee was so concerned about this that they informed county officials that they were worried about their employment with the county because of the comments that Commissioner Waldham had made. Commissioner Waldham also specifically asked for this county employee's job description and probationary status. Commissioner Waldham also made a complaint about the signage to the county attorney, who declined to prosecute on the basis that the county attorney believed the complaint was targeting a person Commissioner Waldham used to work with. The county attorney noted that Commissioner Waldham made a comment to a county officer, sheriff's officer, who took his complaint about the signage, that the county employee, who was related to the individual who posted the signage, was recently hired by the county and that they would not make it through their probationary period. In conclusion, the evidence supports the finding that Commissioner Waldham improperly used his position as an elected official.
All right, thank you, Lynn.
Thank you. So Pine County Board is now aware of the wrongful conduct of Commissioner Waldham in using his position as an elected official to exert influence inappropriately. From a legal standpoint, individual Pine County commissioners have no independent power to act, except as authorized by a majority of the board. The question remains, what does the Pine County Board do with this information regarding the inappropriate actions of Commissioner Waldham? The conduct is concerning as there was, as determined by the investigation, there was an attempt to use the status as an elected official for favorable treatment to himself and others. There's also a concern about the implicit or implied threat, particularly to two different probationary staff members regarding their employment and what could happen to that employment if certain actions were not taken. It's likely that Commissioner Waldham's actions would be found to meet the statutory definition of malfeasance, which is defined under Minnesota Statute 351.14 to mean the willful commission of a wrongful act in the performance of a public official's duties, which are outside the scope of authority of the public official and which infringes on the rights of any other person or entity. So in determining what to do with the malfeasance of Commissioner Waldham, the board has a few options. One option is that the Pine County Board could remove Commissioner Waldham from committee assignments. Committee assignments and assignments as an alternate to those committees are a privilege, not a right, and removal would signal that the county board disavows the conduct of Commissioner Waldham. Another option the Pine County Board has is it could by resolution censure Commissioner Waldham for his conduct. As part of the censure, the board could direct him to refrain from further attempts to direct county staff inappropriately and disavow his conduct. The Pine County Board could by resolution censure him and could direct him not to seek or accept preferential treatment for himself or others by virtue of his power as an elected official, his position as an elected official, excuse me. The resolution could also disavow Commissioner Waldham's conduct to extent his conduct constitutes malfeasance. There is a concern here that this conduct, if it continues, could result in liability against Pine County, particularly since the information is now known by the county board. And so because this information is known and there is potential liability, we do recommend that some action be taken by with respect to the findings of this investigation. Thank you.
All right, so, a couple things, I'd just like to say is, this was not initiated by the county staff or by the county administration. This was brought to them by two county employees, right, as a complaint.
That's correct. I should have stayed up here.
Yeah. And that was just a key question. So when the second one arose, then they both showed up about the similar time, I believe. And, when they arose, then that's when, this administrator, and HR had brought me in to see about what the next steps are. And then the next steps were taken with you and your firm. So, I just want to make that clear that this wasn't any of us going out looking for this.
That's correct. There were written complaints that were made.
Yep. Okay. Sounds good. Any questions pertaining to this, from the county board?
Yes, I do, Mr. Chair.
Okay, now, we do have to make it about this. We're not going on anything else, okay?
Correct.
Yep.
Okay, looks like she's had about 12 minutes and 50 seconds. I have pictures if our IT department can pull them up. I have a site he could pull up. I was asked to give a link to a site. I have that. I gave in to the county pictures. But first, I would just like to read this. It has come to my attention that one of our employees thinks their job description is to declare war on the county board. Issues were brought before this board to the county administrator, who failed to act, and the employees responsible to find resolution. Rather than addressing the issues and concerns, they chose to fabricate a response by orchestrating a biased investigation for the purposes of damaging the reputation of a commissioner. This should not be tolerated by this board. I've been elected to represent the constituents of Pine County. When I got a call that they are not being dealt with properly, I will without question bring it up to the staff member responsible and get to the bottom of it. Bank on it. In this case, I have lost confidence in their job performance and questioned their apparent need for retraining. As was reported, one of our employees felt harassed when I questioned the reasoning for denying a tax status that had detrimental effects on my constituents' livelihood. Harassment is a legal term. The definition of harassment is as follows. It's Minnesota State Statute 609-748, single incident of physical sexual contact, a single incident of harassment under section 609.749, subdivision 2, clause 8, a single incident of non-consensual dissemination of private sexual images under section 617.261, or repeated incidents of intrusive or unwanted acts, words, or gestures that have a substantial adverse effect or are intended to have a substantial adverse effect on the safety, security, or privacy of another, regardless of the relationship between the actor and the intended target. I deny harassing anyone. The simple fact that county dollars were spent on an independent investigation witch hunt, which as this point points clearly to a predetermining vindictive attack by a former county administrator on a county board. Unfortunately, and I will use the term loosely, the professional they hired clearly does not understand the meaning of the word harassment, as they made a pathetic attempt to substantiate the bogus and vindictive claim. Without question, they have exposed themselves to a defamation claim, the extent of which is not covered by their errors and omissions insurance. I will handle my response to them privately. Ultimately, this entire charade ended in an epic waste of county taxpayers' money. Who authorized this investigation? Who authorized the expenditure of dollars? Was this brought before the personnel committee? Was the process followed? Of course it wasn't. And why? Could it be that their agenda would have been exposed, this agenda to undermine a fellow county board member? In effect, their actions have created a hostile work environment, one in which employees will feel fearful of their actions, good or bad. As it relates to the complaint that I blew the whistle on a person who posts signs on the road right away, that is absolutely true. When there is a clear violation of Minnesota state statute, in this case, in part ownership by one of our own employees, one, it doesn't look good on Pine County. Quite honestly, it brings disrepute on the county as we allow our employees to engage in conduct while enforcing the law on our constituents. And two, I may choose to file a police report. I will do so as I see fit to ensure that this conduct is well documented and followed up on. Let me summarize. I was not elected to make friends. I was elected to represent my constituents, and I will do so until I no longer hold this position. Any employee that tries to distract me from the work that I have been elected to do will be met with a genuine desire to understand what forces, policies, or the way we have always done it excuse could possibly be at play. If employees are unable to withstand the level of oversight, perhaps this isn't the job for them. I will not substantiate in an environment where the government lords over the people. It is government by the people, for the people. And this notion that the constituents should not have a voice through their elected representative or directly to the employees they pay for is beyond ridiculous. Tyranny will never prevail under my watch. And from a legal standpoint, the report by your hired investigator fails to state a couple of important facts. One, as a county commissioner, I am not a supervisor over employees of the county. I have no standing to hire, fire, or discipline employees. I can comment on, express my opinion, and report concerns of people in the county that bring issues to my attention. I try to be responsive to the people who choose and chose to elect me. There is no citation in the report to a standard that I have violated. I ask after all this, after all this, how much did the county pay for a report that led to nowhere? There is no mention of any code, statute, rule adopted by the county that I am accused of violating. I find that very telling. This investigative report also seems to criticize my comments about individuals or businesses posting private messages and signs on utility poles. Minnesota State Statute 173.5.15, also known as the Minnesota Outdoor Advertising Control Act, states advertising material cannot be placed on public utility poles. That is a very clear law. So our county attorney has decided not to charge a violation because he doubts some little old lady or ladies from Willow River was the originator of the complaint. There is nothing in the law about utility poles that allows advertising material to be put on poles if the county attorney has questions about the source of the complaint. The source was a little old lady, but how does that matter? And why is the failure of the county attorney to charge a violation of Minnesota law my fault, as the report seems to suggest? I'd also add, it's a safety rule violation. Can't help my 30-some year career trying to keep people safe and
So,
from getting, it's
Commissioner,
a safety rule violation.
The one thing I would say with respect to, we're here today to talk about the results of the investigation. And you did have an opportunity to be involved in the investigation and you declined that opportunity.
I'd like to bring the pictures up, Mr. Chair, that I had sent in today.
I think Margaret was talking.
Yep.
Yeah, so
Oh, and,
just a couple-
and so was I was talking. Thank you.
A couple more points, though. There was no finding of harassment in the investigation. The county is required to do an investigation when claims are brought forward by employees in order to find out if there was issues that the county needs to deal with respect to those complaints of the employees. Failure to address employee complaints would be a liability problem for the Pine County.
Mhm.
The issue is not that you thought an employee wasn't doing their job, which you certainly have the right to think. It was not that you brought a police report. The issue was that you used your position as an elected official to exert influence inappropriately. And you did that by seeking Pine County staff to change a tax parcel classification to agricultural without going through the appropriate process. You did that by seeking Pine County staff to apply a tax benefit immediately when everyone else and the code requires that you wait 2 years. You did that by attempting to intimidate a Pine County employee to take a tax classification action that violated the requirements by referencing that employee's probationary status. You did that by making a complaint to the sheriff's office about a former coworker, and bringing up the fact that you were an elected official. You did that by referencing that coworker's wife was a probationary employee at Pine County. You did that by asking about that coworker's wife's probationary status to Pine County officials. And you did that by seeking that the Pine County attorney prosecute a former coworker of yours and appearing to misrepresent that others were making the complaint. Pine County is now aware that you are inappropriately attempting to exert your position as an elected official and needs to take action on it. These other issues are smoke screens. They are not the issue.
I have some pictures and a link that I sent in. Are we able to access that we could bring up?
How do they relate to this
They
investigation?
relate exactly to this investigation in response to what I was accused of. I didn't answer a correspondence from them. It ties into that, saying that when somebody is actually hired and they have a title and you refer to them as what they are, a probationary employee is a probationary employee.
And so how do any
I
of
see where
these-
this, I see where this is going. I read my statement. It's on the record. If we could show what I have up there, it has everything to do with this.
How?
You will see. It is in response to this. So you're not allowing the people to use our county stuff that the taxpayer is paid for?
Mr. Chair.
That's why we're here today, correct?
Yeah. Mr. Chair. The act that you're investigating something and trying to see what's going on with people. isn't the
Defending
problem.
myself.
It's not the problem. The problem is how you made that employee feel when you were addressing them. So your investigation isn't a problem, or whatever you were working on. Like the lighting or whatever, we have a right to do that. But you can't put a implied threat to a staff. That's what we're addressing.
Didn't threaten anyone.
Hmm?
Did not threaten anyone.
Well, I know, I'm just saying that's what the
Okay,
complaint,
you know. Yeah.
trying to help you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So there's a significant amount of emails you sent, JJ. For example, what one would you like to start with?
Brant Road, let me pull it up
And
here.
that does not apply to this investigation.
Well, it's actually a county administrator that was called numerous times to deal with something and he refused to answer.
We're not having a trial here.
But that's not what we're talking.
But you just gave me an opportunity to say it publicly so people actually know.
Okay,
That's what it is.
we're doing
It's,
smoke screens. That's what you're,
well,
that's what you're. working
it's your opinion.
I would just like to read something. I've been obviously thinking about this a lot. So as a county commissioner, I just looked up the oath of office. And part of the oath of office is that I've taken 3 times is, do I solemnly swear to affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the state of Minnesota, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office to my best judgment and ability. Okay? That is our job as county commissioners. In that Google search, it also came up, what does a county commissioner do? The Board of Commissioners is a general administrative body for the county government. Commissioners have a major of responsibilities that include making decisions to make the county a better place to live. I will highlight that, and work. I will also highlight that. Individual commissioners have no power to act independently. That is the key here. You are 1/5 of a board member. So the county board has power, but no commissioner does. Okay? I just want to make that clear. So does any of the stuff that you want to provide to us have anything to do with the accusations that were made? This stuff was brought to us as a county. Like Margaret said, we have to do something about that. If we have employees come to us and say that they feel threatened by a county commissioner, that they feel like someone is trying to threaten them, threaten their position, and I know you may not say, I am going to fire you, but that is part of our job. I take my job extremely serious and I don't care what anybody says. I listen to everybody. Just because I don't do what you want me to do does not mean I'm not listening and not doing. Obviously, you have seen personal attacks against me right here today. All of you guys have. Do you think that helps me or my family? No, this is not a personal attack. This was brought to us by employees, and now we have to do something to it, about it. This is not a trial. You had your chance to go and be interviewed. Lauren contacted you 4 or 5 times and you refused. That was it. That is not what we're doing here today. County board needs to take action. Like Margaret said, we have to. So. Is there any other?
I have a question of Margaret, I believe. In the options you gave us, in the resolutions, is there a part of that resolution that could say, a commissioner has to go to the AMC new commissioner training? Could that be part of a resolution?
Sure, sure. That is something that the board could certainly request happen.
So as I understand it, we have options of censorship. We have options of committee assignments. And I think that is, obviously something we have to do something. So what exactly does a censorship mean again?
It's a resolution and it's a public reprimand. And then it also distances the county board from the actions of an individual commissioner who cannot, as a matter of law, act individually on behalf of the county. To say the county board only acts as a board and we disavow and are distancing ourselves from this inappropriate conduct.
Okay, so essentially it's separating ourselves. So, because we could be on the hook for or being sued by the county board could.
That's correct.
Yeah, so by an individual commissioner, so of what they do. That is, I think, real for us. We have all been involved in lawsuits to the county, and that's us. I think it's our responsibility to minimize them potentials, I guess. So, and this is clearly a couple of violations of that. So, does anybody else have any other input?
Yes, so we're not gonna show anything that I've
You
sent in.
You have not explained how they're gonna help the 2
The
accusations.
picture speaks 1,000 words.
What's that?
The picture speaks 1,000 words. If you don't want people to see what has been going on, that's
Have 'em?
your choice.
So what is it?
Well, one of them saying that I didn't respond. I didn't have to respond. I can clearly show you if you pull up Brant Road Pinky, the picture of what happened there. He doesn't respond to people.
We're not talking about anybody else.
Oh, okay.
We're talking about
Okay.
you, correct?
All right, related to this,
Your action.
related to this. Yeah, okay.
Is it related to this?
I don't know how many more times I can answer it. I read my statement and it's a matter of public record, so
But,
you don't have to show it.
but somebody else not responding is not what we're talking about here. We're talking about yours, okay? You had your opportunity numerous times to respond to these allegations, to be interviewed by Lauren, to state whatever case you wanted to state. You had that opportunity. This is not that opportunity. We are here today to deal with the outcomes of this investigation. Can I make it any more clear?
I read my statement. You can carry on.
Okay,
We're not gonna look at it.
so if you want to provide a picture, you want to pull it up on your iPad, that's fine. We can look at it. Nobody's saying you can't. You sent 50 some emails last night. What of that do you want us to look at?
That's not the number of emails.
Okay, but I'm asking you, what is it?
It's not the number of emails.
Show me the picture. I'll see the picture. Text it to me. Put it on your phone. I'll look at the picture. We can all look at it. What is it? Can you explain it?
I have. I read my statement.
Do you want Ryan to go through every email that you sent? Is that what you want?
I read my statement. That's it. So just keep,
Hey, all right,
just keep.
this is normal. Okay, got it. So we do need to make a motion. I don't know. Does anybody else have anything else to say?
Could you read those options again, Margaret?
Sure. So, two options. One is that you could remove Commissioner Waldham from his committee assignments. Since that is a action that the county board can take as indication of your disapproval and separating yourself from Commissioner Waldham's actions. Or you could censure Commissioner Waldham for his conduct. And as part of that censure, direct him from refraining from future attempts to direct county staff inappropriately in violation of their professional duties, and directing him not to seek or accept preferential treatment for himself or others by virtue of his elected position.
So essentially, that is what our job duties are anyways. But because of the allegations, because of Commissioner Waldham not adhering to them, his oath of office that he took, we have to do this publicly. So we can separate ourselves from him. So essentially, we are just telling you again that these are not, you cannot do this stuff. If we take the committee assignments away, then that is, which we all know, whatever your opposition to not going to committee assignments is, saving money, whatever. So that shouldn't be that big a deal for you. But that way he cannot act. He doesn't have the supervision of the county board. So essentially, them two things, then he can act, he can come to a county board meeting, and then we have the supervision of the county board of any actions. Then that separates the county board from anything he wants to do outside of that.
Correct.
So with that, I would make a recommendation to censor and remove from committee assignments. If somebody wants to put in there a requirement to do some training, I would hear that.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I was just thinking about the in-county commissioner, you know, the ones that are inside. There's always another commissioner there.
Okay,
Could he still sit on those?
that's up to the county board.
Yeah, well, that, we can
Yeah.
design it that way. How about the out ones I get where you go solo?
Okay.
But if there's always some, just, I think,
So essentially, when there's some supervision from another county board member, the committee assignments that are not supervised. So,
yeah, we have in-county meetings. I think that those would be okay.
do
That
we
makes a lot of sense.
Okay, do we have to name them right now?
No, you could just make a resolution indicating what your intent is, and then the resolution would indicate what assignments those would apply to.
Okay. So does that make sense? That would be part of that, motion.
I have one more question, Mr. Chair. So how long does this, what's the duration?
So the duration is up to the county board
Okay,
to make a determination as to how long of a period do you think that it's necessary for this to occur?
could we make it until he finishes some commissioner training? And then, how do you want to do it? I don't know the answer. I'm just throwing out options. I don't think it should be permanent.
Mr. Chair,
Mhm.
I think that might be a wonderful idea to censor him from committee assignments until such time that he has, completed commissioner training, which is available through AMC.
Is there a certain training or
Well, new commissioner,
multiple
new
training?
commissioner training, I believe it's a 3-session now, isn't it, Roger? I can't remember.
Well, when I went through it this last time, it was in a, like a 3-day block.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that part, Roger.
And,
it's like a 3-day block.
3-day block.
and that wouldn't be available again until January of 2027.
Correct.
Okay.
It's on a 2-year cycle.
Okay. All right, so I did have a motion on the floor. I will withdraw that motion. If someone wants to make a different motion with these things, and or I can as well.
I'll make a motion that we censor Commissioner Waldham as advised by our attorney, and that we pull him off the committee assignments until such time he has taken the new commissioner training, completed that.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Steve, I didn't hear the full motion, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. That we censor JJ and pull him off committee assignments until such time that he has completed new commissioner training.
Okay. And then is he gonna still be on in county?
Yes.
Okay. I'll second that.
Okay. Is there any other discussion?
Yep. Okay, so I wanted to wait until there was some sort of motion made. Whatever, so, a couple of things. First off, I want to thank the people that came in support of JJ. Constituent services are important. They're very important. And, obviously for you folks, that's important as well. And I think that's important for all of us, you know, that we represent the concerns that our district has. So thank you for coming and sharing that. When we get to some of the underlying issues, and I know we're not going to be talking about the underlying issues today, you know, what brought this about, but I think it has bearing in the sense of, even though those issues that position may have been a noble position and a right position, and even a position that I very well may support. That's not the problem. The problem is, and maybe there's 2 phrases. Do the ends justify the means? It's the methodology about going about getting something done. That's where the issue lies. And secondly, does the good outweigh the bad? And if we sort of use those sort of things, I think we're erring, because the standard is actually pretty high, and that's what's concerning, is when we use our position of authority, I would say misuse our position of authority. And and I want to thank the people that did the investigation as well. I was unaware of any of this until I got it as part of the agenda, just like I'm assuming everybody else did in WCMP and whatever. That's how the information was disseminated. It's part of the public agenda. So if there's additional information, I don't know how it got there, and I didn't get it either. So there. But I take that very seriously, some of the allegations towards employees, and it's an employee's right to bring those forward. And particularly and I know it wasn't harassment, but using your position as a intimidation or to influence, to make them feel like they need pressure to do something that is clearly unethical in the sense of the tax change classification. I mean, there's a clear process, and we just can't subvert that. So for all the good that was done, when you go down that narrow lane of bad, I'm sorry, that puts you in a different category. That's the problem. And that's, to me, that's a pretty serious problem. Is it redeemable? I think it certainly is. But, so, I mean, it's not necessarily something I wanted to see, but I think moving forward, I guess I'm gonna support this resolution, and I think I have a good working relationship with every one of the commissioners. And I expect that to continue. But that's where things are at.
All right, thank you. Is there any other discussion?
I just want to thank Roger for putting it the way I think that's how we all, when you deal with the public, nobody leaked anything to WCMP. They got the board packet, I'm assuming, and what was on it. And that's how we all got our information. I got the board packet. I guess I got a email from Administrator Kelly to say, make sure you look at your board packet. But other than that, I had no idea any of this was going on.
As is, everybody got that same communication letter, though, at the same time. Everything was out on the website to the public the same time everybody got it. So nobody's seen anything earlier than anybody else. So, yeah. Okay. So hearing no other discussion, anything else? Okay. All in favor of this, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same thing.
I oppose.
Okay. All right, thank you. We will move on to the low potency hemp edibles ordinance draft.
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Chair, members of the board. At the last meeting, we had discussed the requirement for the county to provide registration for those businesses selling that will be licensed come January 1st to sell the low potency hemp edibles. And so at that time, the board had directed county attorney and myself to draft an ordinance very similar to our tobacco ordinance that provides for a registration process. That is the draft that's before you today, and it very closely follows our tobacco ordinance in that, yes, the statutes are different because they're different that surround the low potency hemp, but otherwise the overall structure of the ordinance and the overall requirements of the ordinance are very similar to that of the tobacco ordinance. Obviously we have our different types of definitions that are required in this ordinance. And then it moves it through just how to that they must be licensed by the Office of Cannabis Management to do it. And part of that licensing process is to register with the local unit of government. And this ordinance does provide for that registration throughout the entire county, whether it's a city or a township, which is very similar to what our tobacco ordinance does. We license all tobacco businesses in the entire county, no matter what jurisdiction they're in, and that is what this ordinance also does. It outlines the provisions of that registration of what they would need to have to be a registered, so they have to be at least 21. They do not have a valid actual retail license. They would have to have a pre-approval or a retail license for the low potency hemp. to be able to apply for registration, because that way, because otherwise everybody and their brother could be applying for this and not actually be going through that OCM process. Basic information will be requested on the application. There's some prohibitions of certain folks of holding a license, and so those people, obviously, we wouldn't allow to register a business. The one piece that this ordinance does not address, which I chatted with Reese about yesterday, is in our tobacco ordinance, it requires that for us to provide a license or a registration, the property cannot have delinquent taxes. And that was something that I had asked Reese about, if that could be in this ordinance as well, and he stated that yes, that would be acceptable for that to be included. So that is not currently included in the draft, but if you would like to see that as we move forward to public hearing and potential adoption, we could add that. It goes over the just general prohibited sales and other restrictions such as the packaging, the age requirements, proximity to youth-oriented facilities, child-resistant packaging, all of that type of stuff. And then it also outlines the compliance checks requirements, which, as I had stated, most of these businesses that are going to be seeking this registration already have either a tobacco license or a liquor license. So there's already compliance checks happening at those businesses. But that just highlights that as part of the registration, we are required to do those compliance checks, that they are following all of the regulations on who they are selling to. It provides for just the violations and penalties on what we do if someone is not following it, and provides different options and different avenues for that. Are there questions on the draft? Comments?
And this is just, it's gotta still go to a public hearing for final adoption. So this is just,
Right.
if anybody's got any questions or wants, looks at something different.
I got a question.
Yeah.
Unless I overlooked it, is this gonna be any, the taxing on this, like other, which one is,
It'll be set by us later.
yeah, but like for the sales tax, is it any special or any different sales tax separate that the county's gonna impose, or is it gonna just follow?
Right, so we don't have any authority to impose a special tax that we're trying to assert.
Other than we will add our county tax onto it.
Right, just our transportation half-cent.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Are you guys okay with adding that requirement for no delinquent taxes to have a registration? I think we've got that in our liquor ordinance, we've got that in our tobacco ordinance.
I think that makes sense.
That consistency is a good thing.
Yes,
Right. And then we'll have a public hearing next meeting.
correct.
Next meeting.
Correct. The public hearing, as you scheduled at the last one, would be for the next meeting, and then potential adoption at that same meeting, because the OCM's window for licensing these businesses closed the end of October. And so they are going to be turning to the county shortly for us to determine if these folks are registered or not.
Okay.
So there's no action I need of you today, just so that you could have a review of it prior to moving forward.
Perfect, thanks. All right, we'll move on to the next section, commissioner updates. Highway 23 Coalition. Looks like Waltham.
I did not attend that. I looked at it as an opportunity to save mileage and per diem.
That's, so with that, I don't typically respond, but when you go to a committee assignment, so if you want to save the county all kinds of money, like you think you are, you don't have to take a per diem. So you could do it out of the generosity of your own heart. So if you really want to save the county money, then it would really help if you went to the committee assignment and then just don't take the per diem. Don't have to. We don't force it on you. So moving on to NLX, looks like it was canceled. Housing Redevelopment Authority and Economic Development Authority.
Go ahead. I'll piggyback on, I got my notes here. If you don't mind.
Nope, I'm fine. We had the general meeting, I'm just trying to find meetings. They elected officers. Chair is Trevor, Gaylor, Vice Chair is Rick, and Secretary Leah. designated depositories, Northview Bank, Franklin Trust and Bank, and Wells Fargo. I think that's pretty much the most of it. Then they gave an annual review of the housing and economic development projects, which was pretty fascinating in itself. The goals that were met, the projects they're working on, they contributed to this renovation of the old school and some other projects too. So go ahead.
Anything else?
No, go ahead. I'm trying to find the minute.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's, as Commissioner Ludwig had said, and also I was, called out from the Economic Development Coordinator for my help with the Willow River Daycare, getting them their funding finalized for some grants and payments they were eligible for. And also, I would just like to say that, we had a Bruno developer that was there that has been working hard to try to work through some situations with the county in relation to wetlands, trying to get his housing development built. There's still some roadblocks in the way at the county that is slowing him down quite a bit to get his housing done.
That it?
Matt, you anything else?
That's it. The rest is just, their budgeting and stuff was fine. They're doing, their finances are sitting good. If you want the numbers, I can give them to you, but
Yeah, we can look at it as we go. School, county, technical, community college meeting. One in Nelson.
And it was so long ago. Can I remember all that? I think you, Steve and I and Kelly were there and
Becky and Denise.
Becky and Denise.
I think the highlight was Becky talked about all the correlation we have between the county and the schools and the kids in the county with you know, the SNAP program and the MFIP and the 4 major funds anyway that possibly can get pulled apart with the federal shutdown and how schools are going to have to deal with some of that with the backpack programs and the food shelves and how the county has to deal with that. And then Denise talked about emergency management system. So there's a meeting. Do you remember the date? Anyway, today. I think it is this afternoon. All the entities that need to get, I call it pre-registration. So if there is a disaster, a flood, a tornado, whatever, their paperwork will be in the works and they will be part of the disaster relief program.
Maybe the last thing, we did have a presentation from Justin Jans from ECE.
Yes.
And he talked about,
Yes.
again, fiber and their role in that and pushing forward. So it was good to hear that right from the CEO. So.
Yes, and it's something that's been a big part of the county, getting those border to border grants, help shepherd some of those through that Midco and ECE have obtained, and the work is getting done. It just takes longer than you can imagine, but hopefully.
Okay, do you have anything there?
No, I think we had a good discussion on the paid family medical leave. And I hadn't really thought through the difficulties the school and the college will have with that. Like at the college, if there is a class that has to have a certain certification of instructor, and then there's a class of 30, and then that instructor goes out on paid paid leave, what does this college do to backfill that class? And it really puts them in a very hard spot, and same with the schools, with that paid leave.
All right, local park connect.
Kelly and I have been meeting with a local developer about, I can't say a lot till the deal is done, but, it looks like, he's probably gonna donate some land that is adjacent to, facilities the county has, to put in a little rest area, along the bike path. So, hopefully in the next, few weeks, we can move forward with that.
Township officers meeting.
They were, Stephen up there for the county board. Reese, Frederickson, our, county attorney, was there and gave a nice presentation as well about all the convictions that happened in Pine County, and those were convictions basically of, you know, I don't know, sex crimes and things like that. You know, so that we see that there are results. It's not always the results we want to see, but he went through a whole list of them. So it's unfortunate that it's happening, but we also see that the system is working, and these people eventually are incarcerated because of that. So that was great. We did talk about our budget. We talked about, again, Health and Human Services, the SNAP thing, and that wasn't going to happen. There wasn't. It was a relatively short meeting compared to normal. So, so
Not an election year.
no.
Okay, Snake River Watershed Plan Partnership was canceled because we didn't have nothing going on. Lower St. Croix
We-
Watershed Partnership.
We did meet last Monday, reviewed the plan because of the way the entity is organized. The plans have to come to the policy group, and then if there's any changes to those plans, they gotta come back to every entity that's a member, and we have to approve them, and then they go back for final approval. But no major changes, no, in the work plan that we've approved for now. And they're doing some really neat stuff in the lower end of the lower St. Croix right now. We did remember a year ago, we did a lot of work at the headwaters up here in the Rock Lake area. And now they've shifted more into Chisago and Washington County.
Perfect. All right, well, thanks for that update. Labor negotiations, yeah, we've met, but quite a bit. We have, and we are working currently through some, we have one settled. But these ones we're working on now, I think we're close, but
Teamsters is settled.
yeah.
They have voted for it.
Yeah.
Lots of deputies.
Yep, yep,
Yeah.
so
Two other ones cooking pretty good.
tomorrow we meet all day again with a couple more, I think maybe even three. if
Three.
we can get it. So I don't know, do you want to add something?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's that time of year.
Yeah.
Me and Commissioner Ludwig need to get to spend a lot of time together talking about a lot of things, so. Deer hunting and that kind of stuff, so. Courthouse Security Committee, Ludwig.
I'll get the start. Were you there, Kelly? I was a little late getting in because teams kept kicking me out, but I got the minutes, so. The court security update, Ryan Thompson updated that there's been some medical incidences in the room, and Judge Steffen verified that, so that, like, that a defendant who passed out, so they have an AED now and stuff like that in there. Terry Fawcett gave a kudos to security. It's visible and approachable, and it's great it's helping the building. Then it was brought up about the courthouse door security. So if something happens, they could want to have a cutoff switch so they can just lock it down. which will lead to what we're talking about. So that, they're looking into the expenses of that and how that would work. So if someone comes in, they can just control that entry. So it's gonna have to be reasonable price. So Pete's gonna try to get that numbers for the next meeting. That, and with that brought on, then should we do an active shooter training in this building in case it does happen, like we've always done, like with the sheriff's office? So that discussion went for quite a while, and if something does happen, how departments kind of have to have some idea of what to do and where to go and how to handle that. So that's gonna be talked about and figured out with the group, and it'll start out as a tabletop first, so like people have an idea, and then it may move on to an exercise in the building at some point, so they can kind of run it through once, so you get more familiar with it. To me, that was probably one of the best things that was talked about. Other than that, that's pretty much it.
Okay. Central.
That's me too. I might just keep going.
Yeah.
Yep, we had our meeting. What's interesting is the opioid grant for the Narcan and stuff is just kind of dried up for them. So I think we're getting it now through the sheriff. I think it comes through public health dollars, which Reese is here. So, and it's getting harder to get a hold of. But with that, the medical director there gave a great report saying that, the opiate use trends, the death, they're declining. 26% decline in Minnesota and then 24% nationally. But there's a weird number there that the Black and indigenous population are 10 times more likely to die from an overdose than the white population. So I don't know if that's access to Narcan or what that is, so they're trying to figure that out, but the numbers say something funny's going on there. Then the rest was just training events they're holding with, and then we approved $500 to go to EMS recognition event in Morrison County. That's pretty much it.
Okay. Is there any other updates? Meeting.
I had a little road tour with the county engineer last week and some projects going on in the Pine City area in District 1. And the one that people might be most interested in is where the new Quick Trip is being built. It's a tough intersection there. And so they, with the city's help, put together, they got a team and did a traffic study there. There will be a set of lights that are going in there. They may even put some temporary lights this winter, but it's a project for next summer. It's one of those three-legged milk stools, you know. It's MnDOT, it's the city, it's the county. So Mark kind of took the lead on that to shepherd the thing through, and I think it'll turn out good when it's done.
Is it gonna be a roundabout then? That's what people-
No, there's not enough, that would be the preferred thing, but there's not enough land there and too much slope and a lot of reasons. But
Mr. Chair, I have one more thing.
Yeah.
Last Saturday, I didn't go to the township officers meeting, but I went to former county employee Mary Patterson, who worked child protection for a long time. I went to her funeral and just to kind of be there, because I worked a lot with her when she was in child protection and I was in investigation. So I just want to mention that she's a good employee and worked hard for the county on a lot of cases.
Okay. Anybody else have anything other? All right, take a peek at your upcoming meetings. One other quick thing I'd just like to say is, us as a county board, we do have a tough job. I do appreciate everybody's, showing up and support and comments. I really do. And I just hope that everybody continues that, you know. We can all be civil. I think everybody knows to be effective is not to just go against. It's not just to go with. To be effective is have communication, talk about it, maybe both sides meet in the middle. That is effective communication. There's a lot of allegations that got thrown out today. Like I said, you guys have all seen the nice personal attacks just here today, against me, myself personally. And these are the things that we all deal with on a daily basis. To have employees come forward, you've seen how hard it would be. How would you like to be one of them employees, in your job that dealt with this today, that came forward, made these allegations? I would support any employee comes forward. The process was the way the process was. It was not anything other than dealing with what happens on a daily basis. Pine County has 300 employees, close to it, give or take. That is a lot. And we do need to manage that. That is our responsibility as a board, not one person to do what they feel is right. We work hard. I appreciate all our employees. I appreciate everybody that lives in Pine County. And going forward, I encourage anybody to reach out. My phone number is public. Most people know how to get a hold of me. I would ask that they don't impede on any family or business stuff. So I've had a lot of stuff brought to my business. My business has suffered from it. And that sucks as a board member. Because maybe I didn't go along with what that person wanted. I just hope you all know that I take it all personal, or I really appreciate it all. And sometimes I just can't agree with you. You know, we have to do what we have to do. So that's all I gotta say. And with